Hey guys, and welcome back. Well, the Sean Diddy Combs trial saw a significant development as Cassie Ventura concluded her 4-day testimony, with the prosecution then calling new witnesses to the stand. Now, this was the first week, and let's look at Cassie Ventura's testimonies. Now, Cassie, Diddy's former girlfriend, served as a key witness for the prosecution, detailing a decade-long relationship marred by allegations of physical and sexual abuse. Now, her testimony included descriptions of freak-off sex parties involving drugs and escort, violent assaults, and a 2018 rape allegations. Now, the defense attempted to challenge her credibility by presenting affectionate text messages between her and Diddy, even after the alleged rape, and highlighting inconsistencies in her timeline. Now, Cassie revealed she had settled a lawsuit against Diddy for $20 million and was expecting a $10 million settlement from the hotel where he assaulted her. Now, she expressed that she would give back the settlement money if it meant never having to experience the freak-offs. Now, the freak-offs. Now, they really detailed a lot of things that went on during the alleged freak-offs. She brought up things that she experienced during the freak-offs, which included having sex with male prostitutes, getting peed on, even Diddy pissing in her mouth and the other guys pissing in her mouth. Oh, it was just very graphic. And even when she talked about the bad things, they brought up texts where she was saying that, hey, I'm always ready for a freak off, and I want your, explicit details, and like she liked it. Now, she also testified on Friday, the fourth straight day, starting off with cross-examination from Diddy's defense team, and a lot of texts were read to the jurors. Now, even those texts, they asked her, we know these texts are pretty bad. You don't have to read them if you don't want to, but, she did read it, and it made her look kind of bad when she's talking about freak-offs, that she didn't enjoy them, and then they reading texts from her saying, I'm always ready for a freak. But, people have to understand when, this girl was young. She was 19? Okay, this guy was a billionaire, millionaire, whatever Diddy was. And, she wanted this life. She wanted to be married. That's what, and she even testified that I wanted to be married to him. She wanted that status. So she was willing to do everything and anything to be with this guy. Some people do, and we don't know why. They stick with people who they know are no good for them. They experience multitude of violence and abuse, verbally, physically. And you're like, well, why did they put up with it? You're wondering to yourself, but you have to know that, these men know how to finesse them. That's like him and, all this time Kim put up with him, had children by him, and we found out that he was physically abusive, emotionally, and everything. But they want that status of being with Diddy's girlfriend and this millionaire, So you got to know that he was, even in the beginning of the relationship, he was grooming her. And she put up with it because, hey, he was a billionaire and the status of being her. So you have to understand that, and that's what they were bringing up this, and even they even said for the first time, Diddy's defense raised the possibility that Diddy suffered from bipolar disorder, and they showed warm text exchanges between her and Diddy after she claimed he raped her, with the message being sent even when she was dating her now husband, Alex Fine. They even said that she FaceTimed him while she was having sex with Diddy. And everybody's like, oh, if Alex Fine didn't get an earful, and even they were saying how he was looking when some of the stuff came out that, that Cassie said and did. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I hope it don't break up their relationship. But I'm sure she kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that she informed him of the things that she had to do during those freakouts and everything. But I don't think that she informed him of what came out in the trial. So, that was a lot. That was a lot. Even Diddy's young daughters just walked out after so much was said and done and all of this. So and I have to bring out the fact that Cassie is 8 months pregnant, and now after Friday was her last day of testimony, they saying now she's preparing to deliver her baby. Wow. But her husband got an earful. A lot of people are saying, whoa, if it's a black man, he would have left her. He's going to leave her. So I don't know. I hope they stay together, but it was a lot revealed. But also Cassie revealed she needed therapy for PTSD and traumatic memories. And when the prosecution got to ask her questions, when the cross-examination ended, she closed some loops, namely one about Diddy threatening to release a sex tape if she didn't go along with the freak-offs. So, they've brought out a lot of stuff during this week of testimony. But let's just take a look at what Diddy's on trial for. Now, he's facing some serious federal criminal charges. First, he's facing racketeering conspiracy. Now, this charge alleges that Combs ran a criminal enterprise that engaged in various illegal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Okay? Now, if he's convicted on racketeering, this is what he can face up to life in prison with. And he's also facing sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Now, Combs is accused of coercing and manipulating women into performing sex acts, often involving drugs, threats, and violence. Now, this charge carries a maximum life in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years. Now, he also is facing a charge of transportation. This charge relates to the allegation that Combs transported agent in prostitution. Now, the maximum sentence for this charge is 10 years in prison. Now, in addition to these federal charges, Combs alleging sexual assault, rape, and physical violence. And with all this with Cassie. This week they haven't, even though, okay, but it doesn't support the racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation engagement. The person who ordered the prostitutes and everything was Cassie. It wasn't Diddy. You know, and just to think that Diddy kept all of these. I mean, these. Why did he keep all these messages? Did he know that one? And it's like everybody said. He's got text messages from Cassie. And he had cameras in every room, so Diddy was preparing himself for something like this to happen. So one, but everything that's been brought out as of now really doesn't support anything that he's. It supports the civil lawsuits that he has, but the prosecution, I mean, really show the DA. They haven't supported being there. It lets you know that this was a sick psyche, a psycho was, and yep, he beat the hell out of her, raped her, and had her engaged in all this. But it has. We'll be watching next week in the testimony, which is members of the Danity Kane Singers, which was Diddy's group, that she saw Diddy assault Cassie in 2009 at his residence. She also beat Cassie often. So that he's a awful man. Beat women. But they haven't supported a case against him. So I think they're going to have to come up with some hard evidence, because, I mean, they showed that, yeah, he's a psycho. And now they're saying that they believe he's blood. The case is not cutting next week what they've got. But so far right now they haven't. Just that Diddy is looking at. So I don't know if a jury can for what, and this is only week one. But right now, it supports that, yeah, he's an evil bastard that doesn't like women. And he beat the hell out of his girlfriends and women. And he don't like women. But as far as the charges that he's being accused of, it hadn't really supported any of that. So my next question to you is, what y'all think? All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always important, be blessed, y'all.